So Caitlyn Clark's jersey retirement game. Jesus, I almost said her retirement game. She's far from retired. She's 23 years old. Like, she's not finished. She's 28. As she may as well be Anthony Amy. She's that far from being finished. But yeah. So we have gotten, not one person got that reference, did they? But either way, we've got an unbelievable game. And if you guys agree it was an unbelievable game, subscribe. We are so close to 42.25k subscribers. That would be nuts. Absolutely nuts if we could hit that. But Iowa beat USC. Iowa beat JuJu and USC. They had lost one game previously. One game. And that game was... Who did they lose to? They beat... I can't even remember who USC lost to. Oh, sorry. They lost to Notre Dame. What am I talking about? They lost to Notre Dame. And in this game right here, Kiki Iriafen was not good. Rhea Marshall had 2 points. Like, none of them were good. JuJu Watkins had the fakest 27-point game I've ever seen. One thing I will say is there was like a 4-minute stretch in the second quarter. Like, JuJu Watkins has 3 points going into at the end of the first and has a 15-point second quarter. JuJu Watkins had like a 3 or 4 minute spell where she was unbelievable. And then she also had the JuJu whistle. Like, there was a couple of clean blocks, clean steals that were called, and like lived at the free throw line, shot the free throws, shot well from the line. I will say she did shoot very well from the line, but not a great game for her. You can still see with JuJu. With JuJu as a prospect, I think she's really good in transition. She's really good going downhill, but everyone talks about her as this like Carmelo Anthony type player, and I'm like, man, she's a better defender than she is offensive player. Like, JuJu's going to be superb, but like, and JuJu is not like, she's not the scorer people think she is, but she's a much better defender. Like, any pass going near JuJu, the amount of, like, I don't wonder how many steals she got in that game. Like, she turned the ball over a lot, 4 times. She had 3 steals, no blocks, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 fouls, 10 of 11 from the free throw line. But the best player on the floor by a mile was Lucy Olsen. Lucy Olsen with 28 points. Like, when people talk about, oh, JuJu has this mid-range bag and all this stuff, I'm sorry, if JuJu had Lucy Olsen's mid-range bag, JuJu would be better than Caitlyn Clark. The stuff that Lucy Olsen is able to do from the mid-range is crazy. Problem with Lucy Olsen is she can't shoot threes. That's the only problem, is she can't shoot threes and she's undersized. She's an undersized... I actually was impressed by how she ran the point today. She's an undersized 2-guard who, from this game alone, has pushed herself into the 3rd round. Like, people are like, oh, Lucy Olsen's a first-round pick. No, Lucy Olsen is not a first-round pick. Lucy Olsen, what she's doing this year was not as good as what Grace Berger was doing in Indiana. Grace Berger was taller, better defender, better passer, and true point guard. Lucy Olsen has played her way into getting a training camp contract. Will she be able to play her way into the W? That's yet to be seen. But she has definitely played her way into being drafted somewhere. 3rd round, more than likely. And up to this point, I've said it where I'm like, Lucy Olsen's not had the greatest season in the world. She's been horrific from 3. Like, she's shooting 26%. She's a 5'9"-ish hybrid guard who can't shoot the 3. She's a mid-range specialist in a league where being a mid-range specialist isn't worth that much, to be honest. But today, she was ridiculously good. Like, some of the finishes she made, some of the drive and dump downs into Addie O'Grady. And I wish, again, you could, like, combine Addie O'Grady with Hannah Stuelke's motor, because Stuelke was Like, Hannah Stuelke's, I think, has really, really struggled without Caitlyn Clark. She's someone that needed a Caitlyn Clark. And a lot of people are like, oh, if you're the Fever, you keep your first round pick in 2026 so you can take Hannah Stuelke. Man, if you want Hannah Stuelke, she's there. She will be there at pick 22 next year. Hannah Stuelke will be there. She's not had a good season at all. Like, she's down big time. She's down a good bit in points, and her percentages have gone through the floor. So, but for Iowa, early on in the game, they were cooking. Like, they went 18-1 up. 18-1. JuJu, with about 20 seconds to go in the first quarter, hit their first field goal. She shot a crazy pull-up 3, and I'm like, you got a lot of balls to shoot that at 18-1. And it was the only 3 that JuJu made in the game. JuJu was horrific. Like, I don't understand. Like, Kiki Iriafen, there is no way. I've been saying this for weeks. Kiki Iriafen, I don't get the hype. She is a 6'3", mediocre finishing, non-shooter who doesn't really play that much defense. She's not a terrible defender. She's not a good defender. She's a mediocre, she's a good offensive rebounder, I guess. Not even the greatest defensive rebounder. She is a good offensive rebounder. She can't shoot. She's 6'3", and doesn't have that feel for the game, or like nose for the ball that Angel Reese has. Like, she's just fine. She's just fine. Like, why Kiki Iriafen? People are like, oh, the Storm are going to take Kiki Iriafen. If you take Kiki Iriafen with the second pick in this draft, I would question your basketball knowledge. She's not only is she not good, she doesn't fit modern basketball right now. People are like, oh, mini Aja. It's like, what are we seeing? She's the second best player on her team by so much. Like, she went to USC where she's not playing alongside Cam Brink. And people are like, oh, she'll be playing more center. She can't play center. She can't play center at all. And she's not a very good big. She couldn't even cook Hannah Stokey, and Addie O'Grady is the slowest big in history. Like, she couldn't cook Hannah Stokey. She couldn't cook, like, they were playing a tiny zone. Literally a tiny zone, and they couldn't get they could barely get a defensive rebound, Iowa. And still, she comes out with a 4 of 11 game against a genuine team. Like a team that is like not on their level. And Kiki Iriafen, whatever about JuJu Watkins, like JuJu Watkins, at least, like, she had one of the most misleading counting stats games I've ever seen. But Kiki Iriafen was terrible. Like, she was absolutely terrible. She got outplayed by Addie O'Grady. Like, look, Addie O'Grady can actually finish pretty well. Like, she plays with negative motor at the center position. She plays with negative motor. And she somehow played harder than Kiki Iriafen. Like, Kiki Iriafen, I've said this before. People are like, oh, she's going number 2. If it wasn't for what she'd done in the past, I would not take Kiki Iriafen in the first round. Like, that's how bad I feel like she's been. Yes, counting stats-wise, she's been good in some games. Anytime I watch her play, I'm like, outside, she was okay against UConn. There is no way I take this type of player. Because I'm like, I'm not taking her over a Cheyenne Sellers. I know they don't play the same position. If you are, like, I'm not taking her over Anissa Morrow. I don't care if she's 2 inches taller than Anissa Morrow. Anissa Morrow is just better than her. She's just better. Like, Kiki Iriafen's not that tall. I don't care that she can dunk. So can Dominique Malonga. Dominique Malonga's 100 times better. Kiki Iriafen, if you're Golden State, just take her at 5. But if you're taking Kiki Iriafen before 5, that is something you should not do. It is really, really something that you should not do. But yeah, there is obviously the biggest part of the game. The biggest part of this game was not the game. It was, the Caitlyn Clark celebration. And the fact it was a win was crazy. And let's not forget the number 1 recruit in one of the class, in like the, was it, I'm trying to think of what recruiting class, is it 2026 high school class? The number 1 recruit in the nation was there. And if you were in Carver, like, that was one of the craziest, like, I would love to have been there. Like, that is one of the absolute craziest things I had ever seen. Like, one of the craziest crowds I've seen in my life. But obviously, you're looking and there's like a party here. There's almost a party for Caitlyn Clark's jersey retirement, as it's still up in the rafters by the looks of things. But like, if you're zooming in right here, you can see the court is full. A huge party for Caitlyn, who may or may not be around where my cursor is right now. Like, I think we're playing Where's Caitlyn right now. And maybe she's closer with the team. Maybe she's there. But whoever this... No, there's no way Caitlyn... this may or may not be Caitlyn Clark. We're playing Where's Caitlyn right now. That is my guess. I'm blind, by the way. Like, my eyesight's horrific. But obviously, that's the biggest part of today. is the fact that this happened. The fact that Iowa got the win is crazy. And Lucy Olsen has played her way into being a third round pick in the WNBA draft. But anyway, that's the video. I'll see you guys.